given that they're pretty one-sided scorelines. But yeah, if they don't get enough out of their T side, then they could be in trouble, I guess.
Indeed. All right, well, let's jump into the game and see how things go for today. Be interested to catch up with some of the other results as well. I think some of those games are going to be pretty interesting. Mindfreak Vantage especially could be quite a solid one. KZG Mantra should be pretty close too. So we'll keep you updated with how those are going throughout the night. Also, FlyQuest is back in Oz as well. I'm sure that they would have probably preferred to be in Cologne, playing still there, as opposed to back here in Oz. But, you know, that is what it is, and I'm sure they'll have a pretty good time in the server this evening. But we'll jump into this round, see how things shake up here. Just single set of dualies, actually, from Rooster, and it is indeed Slimy in the roster today.
Yep, Danger on the ramp anchor, spotting out the ramp contact. Arcade flooding on through, getting some control of Megaton. You can see Danger wanting to get a little bit safer down here in lower. He's trying to take multiple duels if he can. Triplus has found Chelios in the meanwhile, and Versa clearing out that lower's anchor. Just leaves ASAP, our Kadia player, to watch. And we didn't get to watch him for very long, as Arcade get this lowers plant established and are looking really good on the T-pistol here.
That's a great start. Just setting it. And hitting their shots, really. So, see if Slimy and TJP can manage to accumulate anything in this round, but doesn't even really look like they're going for it. More happy to maybe stick around and see if they can find a kill on the way out. If even that. Is there something here for TJP? Yes, dualies to grab. So, small upgrade. Rather, it's for Slimy, I should say, but small upgrade for him. And pistol round will go pretty comfortably the way of Arcade.
DJ not able to get any kind of exit. Poggers goes down, but I don't think he brought any armor into the round anyway, so it's actually not really a big deal that he goes down there. And pretty clean T-side pistol once again. Arcade showing their proficiency on the T-side. Force Spike going to come in here for Rooster in round number 2. Interesting prospect to consider whether Slimy was removed from Mindfreak or whether he's opted to take a step into this Mindfreak roster.
The Rooster roster.
Into the Rooster roster from Mindfreak, rather, and had to be replaced.
I mean, I think if the offer of Rooster comes knocking, you probably do take that.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know if Mindfreak, are they salaried? I'm sure they're not making a huge amount of money if they are, but Rooster definitely are not. Maybe Mindfreak are a little bit, but so that could be a factor, but then again, you'd have to sort of weigh up the possibility of Rooster probably has more of a chance of winning a qualifier to go overseas.
Yeah.
Although Mindfreak have been looking pretty good lately, so I think it's definitely a consideration one way or the other. But yeah, I do think if Rooster comes knocking, you probably take that opportunity as a player in Slimy's position. But we'll see whether or not it's going to work out for him. Chell, you better start things nicely into this force supply, but the rest of the round not going too great until Slimy. He could have potentially struck for 2 there. Maybe Danger can get it done. Was not expecting Super. Great spacing though. Good trade. Good confidence from Super. That's a very nice little round from him. One thing I was going to say there is, if the addition to Mindfreak was Texter or
Ricky.
Slimy, Texter and Ricky, I mean, would those players have actually maybe taken a position away from Super and Slimy?
Well, definitely in the case of Super, I don't think you would consider joining Arcade as an upgrade, no disrespect. You would probably stay on Mindfreak if you could. But clearly they've gone for 2 of the same kind of players and had 2 of the same kind of players on the way out, if that makes sense experience-wise. We'll hold that thought for a second, though. But the follow-up reinvestment for Rooster, there was only 1 surviving for Arcade, so this could be another swing round here. ASAP on the off angle with an A1S. Beautiful crosshair placement from Super. It's an instant headshot. Chelios playing the off angle, traded immediately, and this is going very well for T now.
Yeah, Slimy. Bit of a job to do here with the MP9. If anyone works their way out of HUD, it's not going to happen. TJP caught on an awkward timing, but will be able to get away with it for now. As the rest of Arcade work their way in towards ramp, and Danger will go down for free. There's a kill from Slimy on the try plus in meanwhile, but nothing really doing for Rooster. And Arcade are very quick through the map straight up into the A bomb site. So more than happy with the progression so far.
Joe trying to creep up the lab bomb going down. So one of these teams unable to offer support. Smoke blooms at the perfect time to keep that player on the raft to save. Slimy creeping out on the Annex line. Brings Void very low. TJP's been able to find him through the smoke in the meanwhile, but Fogger's playing the pivot over on Hut side, goes down, but takes a lot of damage off of our TJ's HP pool. 8k has the one tap potential, but Super being the difference maker in that round. A 3k for him. Double entry down into lower, or rather entry plus a trade, and then winning the 1v1. That's a big impact for Arcade here.
Yeah, I think the one other thing I guess is now sort of relevant to mention, especially with Super doing well so far for Arcade being 6-0, is that, I don't know, it's an interesting change for Mindfreak in the fact that I think at least Super has been pretty like solid individually in the last couple of teams we've watched him in. And then if the change was, yeah, we're going to bring in Texter and Ricky, you're kind of taking a bit of a gamble on players that have been out of the game for a little while. Obviously, Texter and Tux, we know, go back a long way, and I'm sure that there's some connection there. And also, I'm not implying that either of those players are bad. I'm just saying you have a bit of a known quantity in Super. Whereas I feel like Texter and Ricky are a little bit more of a risk, potentially. And Super continuing to put in some good individual performances here into Arcade's game tonight against Rooster, as they will work their way into yet another round on the A site. Making it look pretty solid so far. ASAP stuck in a real spot of bother here. He should be swung by multiple players at the same time. Void is going to be caught unawares by Danger up in heaven, but Super gets the job done onto ASAP, and that's going to be an easy headshot for him onto Danger as well. He's 9-0, and he continues the good work.
Another 3k in a round that gets very sketchy for Arcade. Like, he is, make no mistake, winning this game right now for Arcade. Getting a lot of work done on that T side, which is the favorable side for them. And this is a slightly more favored side for Rooster, given that it's a pretty small sample size. Finally, Rooster, though, after being very aggressive with their economic investment in the opening rounds of this game, going for the 4s twice in a row, didn't work out for them. And now they find themselves down 0-4 before they can put together a still fight. Whoops out for Chelios. Trying to find that pick on outside TJ. Bit of chip damage into upper. I think he's losing that spam battle through door. Try plus misses the opportunity to find a pick. Just going to further extend the control and emphasis here for Arcade. So he throws smoke into Annex and tries to secure the cross into Secret for Super.
I keep kind of looking at this and wondering, like, how long does this last for Arcade? Right? Like, you're 4-0, you're against Rooster, you're like, it's a great start, but it is Rooster. Sort of expected them to come back any time now, but all the rounds are looking pretty comfy for Arcade so far. I guess it continues as long as Super is able to bring this level to the table, and once he starts to cool off, you're not really seeing too much from anyone else. Like, not anyone going missing necessarily, but Super's been obviously the driving force behind this, so if he has a bad round here or there, maybe that's when things start to swing back.
The opening play of the round for Arcade, just getting that cross the Secret, denying information on the outside area, but with 40 seconds on the clock, Arcade, they were anticipating some kind of push from Rooster, and there really just hasn't been one. TJP, though, has actually snuck in towards Squeaky. They've heard the shot. Versus found ASAP over there on the outside. The entry comes in from Annex. Void's found one as well and flushed out a Squeaky. Where did Rooster just go? We had entries all across the map. The last player found on Megaton means that it's an open upper site, and the plant goes down for heaven.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, how long do rounds like this keep happening?
And is this even that surprising given the era of parity that we're in right now, and the fact that we've just seen Rooster drop games all over the place to all kinds of teams?
No, I actually don't think it's that surprising. I am surprised. Does that make sense? I am surprised, but I don't think it's surprising.
I'm surprised, but like at the same time, there's justifications for it, you know? There's like contingencies that you can say, yeah, but asterisk, you know?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
this is happening all the time. But they're losing these games, they're losing this. But still, the fact that, you know, someone came up to me and they said, Arcade just is dominating Rooster right now. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yep.
That is surprising.
That is surprising. And the money's still a little bit wonky, of course, for Rooster. So not likely to come back together in this round. And that's when the half is kind of starting to get away from 6-0. He's up down early on in the piece. Again, Super, who is still yet to fall. Deathless in the first half thus far. Oh, it'll be 11-0 as he gets another one onto Chell. I don't know. They're not even really shooting back.
Yeah, I mean, they are. This is not the scary Rooster that we all know and love. Super's kind of making mincemeat of them right now. And I mean, Slimy have played on the same team very recently, being new additions to each of the rosters, playing against each other. Slimy, very messy work with the 5-7. Can't even get any real economic damage done. This is looking like another very clean round for Arcade in the anti-half-bite. Super's, at least for now, for this game, in for Kobe. And, I mean, just looking at it, that's looking like a pretty nice upgrade. Not that Kobe's a bad player or anything, but I don't know if Kobe would be going 12-0 against Rooster right now. He'd probably just be doing his job and doing decent.
Super's gunning for a core spot. I don't know, maybe.
If he hasn't already got one.
Well, Versa's going to look for some entries now with the AWP. Smoke's obscuring the vision, and he'll be able to cross over to Secret instead. Nice pace, gets in front of the nade. Timing's not quite working out for Rooster in this instance. But this could be where things start to unravel, or maybe not. Versa gets the better of Chell. And that is, again, another piece of the puzzle being put in place for Arcade as they now find themselves with a 5-on-4. Versa not able to add to that tally. TJP will go down nonetheless, and Arcade maintain the numbers advantage.
Getting comfortable in the lowest site now. ASAP pushed off this Megaton angle for now. Dangerous hanging around there. CTs may even be considering a save due to how out of position they were. Couple of players in the server were in attendance of the Sydney local LAN that we had recently. And actually, worth mentioning, Slimy was the 3rd highest rated player at the event. 1.23 rating. Pretty solid. And Versa was the 8th, 1.11, and his team, even though where did they come? I think they came 3rd out of 4 teams. They were the highest rated team, which is interesting. Like, they placed 3rd, but individually, like rating-wise, their players were some of the better players at the event.
How does that work? I guess you're winning when you're winning.
Lost a close game.
Yeah, you lose close games and
when you win your maps,
comfortably.
you're dominating.
Yeah. I mean, that's Arcade right now. Kind of dominating. What the stats are like for this season of ESL Challenger League in terms of individuals? Who's been doing well for themselves? Let's having a quick look. Terry, 1.59 has been the best rated player for the event so far. Only 4 maps played. But yeah, Chell's up there. Tex is up there. Fair enough. Who's been doing the job for Arcade? Versa has been their highest rated player. I mean, not a bad shout from him today either.
I mean, Art of War, despite being, I think, undefeated in Challenger, they did not win a map at LAN.
Oh.
They went 0-3. They got knocked out. BO1 knocked to lower bracket and went 0-2 down to Arcade.
Onliners, I guess. Just say it.
I mean,
say what we're all thinking.
It's a different beast. LAN is a different beast. Nice one from Triplus. The going just continues to get better and better for Arcade.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm not even...
They're
like,
just They are
I'm not
just
concerned.
rolling them.
I think it's 13-0, the way it's going. It's just looking like it. Although Chell might just catch a timing here. Super, I think, has seen him. Haha, never mind. Yeah, nothing's going right for Rooster, and Super's like an unkillable demon until finally Danger brings him down. 13, unlucky number, but I guess if you have to get to 13 before you die, you'd probably take that.
Danger doing some heavy lifting right now. Definitely the best player for Rooster, and starting to make a bit of a difference. Turns this from, I think, a 5-on-3 into a 3-on-3 winnable situation now. 2 CTs in upper, top hut, and CT vent, but with the progression smoke front side of door, that isolates the duel onto ASAP, and there's nothing Slammy can do about it until Foggers creeps out hut. It will go down, but the reroute from Arcade gives them a free lowers sight.
They've heard the drop, though, so they'll be able to get down there pretty quick. Danger into Megaton. Should be able to stop Void from getting off of the site. So it's potentially going to be a couple of isolated duels here. Triplus is watching for the vent drop. And Rooster are going to elect to save instead. Wow. I mean, you're down 7-0. I get it, you know. It's tough to make a retake happen 2v2 on the B site, but they had a smoke, they had a flash. And you're down 7-0. I think you kind of have to go for it at that point, do you not? Unless Rooster are just looking at this and saying, well, 4 rounds would be enough. 3 rounds would be enough. And maybe they backed themselves enough on the T side to say that, so fair enough. See how they go.
Terrorists win.
Should be some drops over for Rooster here, but yeah. Let's take a deep dive. Let's have a look at what Rooster's been up to lately. Contextualize the match that's unfolding right before us. Yeah, they went down to Vantage, Art of War, and they lost a map to DXA. They smashed. They almost lost 2 maps to Vantage, actually. Only 1 in OT. And the only team they smashed is probably the best team out of all the teams they played, which was Mindfreak. And against the teams below them, in theory, they are losing pretty regularly. And this is another example of it.
Wow. Okay, so if it's not Super, now let's just get Triplus in the mix. That's fair enough.
The thing is, like, I feel like he should be probably the... I mean, he's doing the IGL duties, but he's usually, like, statistically the, like, weakest player for Arcade. No disrespect.
Sure.
And he's double entering outside like that. That is a big question mark for Rooster.
Yeah. Don't know what to say right now. This is one of those games where it sort of just feels like it's not going to get pulled back by Rooster anymore.
This is where, I mean, TJ's clawing this one back a little bit. This is where I start to ask, like, okay, Rooster is still... Like, what is the scoreline in terms of games where you don't go to playoffs? Because it's only top 5 goes through, and they are 4-4 in 4th place right now. And FlyQuest has not played a game yet. That's going to be a team in the top 5 for sure.
True. Well, let's just focus on this round. 30 seconds left to go. It's actually I'd say the worst position Arcade has been in any round, that they have to make their way into the site, but...
Jesus.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't bloody matter. You look at that, you freeze frame that with 30 seconds on the board, you think, well, Rooster are in with a chance, and that would be a lie.
Dude, KZG are 3-1. They've only played 4 games. They're the team below Rooster. Art of War have already played them, and they're 4-0. Like, if they keep losing these games, like, there is a super outside shot, but it's crazy that the fact that it could be possible Rooster could even not go to playoffs.
So there would have to be 5 teams that outplace
Rooster.
Rooster. So let's think. Who
And
would that even be?
FlyQuest hasn't even played a game yet.
So FlyQuest is a lock.
Yeah.
Mindfreak you'd think is doable. Housebets you'd think is doable. And then it's down to, can one of Art of War, KZG, DXA, maybe Arcade?
Arcade, I feel like that when they're already 2-6, it's probably not. But then again, if they win here, Rooster, if they 2-0 tonight, they'd be 4-6, and Rooster would be 4-6 as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, you know, I would have had Arcade as being one of the teams that wouldn't be able to beat Rooster, but you can't sort of write them off if they're going to 2-0 them, and you know, say, well, what's going to happen for the rest of the season. But
You'd legit have Rooster go from a team that was qualifying for Pro League to a team that didn't even make it to the playoffs.
So any two of Art of War, KZG, DXA, Vantage, Arcade. That's, I mean, that's odds on potentially, but I don't know if we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. Like, there's every chance Rooster come back next map and just...
yet, as well.
Well, that's exactly it.
Played, they've been 1-on-1 as well, and their round diff is very close because they played Rooster very close.
Yeah. Anyway, probably reading a little bit too much into it. Still probably a little too early on in the piece, but Arcade having their worst round of the map so far. And it looks like it might be the first round that Rooster do finally get over the line, unless Foggers can get out some funny business, but Danger will shut that down. So a first on the board for Rooster. And with that, maybe a sliver of hope if they can get to 3. Look at that on the CT side and think, all right, we're pretty good on T of Nuke. We win the pistol. We can potentially come back into this. But they would have to get to 3.
Up towards the Heaven position now. Arcade. Getting some smokes down on outside. Nice opener from Tri Plus in towards upper. Takes out TJP. Creep up close to the wall of smokes here for Arcade. If ASAP can make some magic, punishes Super on the walk through towards Warehouse. It's one of the first times he's lost a duel and actually started to slow down since he was 13-0. He's done times in a row. That's a double for ASAP, doubling his kills for the game. He's starting to wake up now.
Maybe. Not going to count my chickens before they hatch just yet, though. Try plus. Will drop, and Versa unable to land the shot. So it is starting to come back in for Arcade, or rather for Rooster. So we'll have a bit of a freebie there. So yeah, 2 on the trot. If they can make 3, I'm not going to write Rooster off. That is at least the benefit of the doubt that they've given themselves by, you know, such a strong string of performances over the last, what, probably 2-3 years. I don't even remember, when did these guys even start playing as Rooster? It's been a while, though.
Oh, aggression from Chelios. Able to find the opener. Not really any util in play here for Arcade in this round. He's starting to get rolling now. AWP in his hands. Trade back by Tri Plus. ASAP's found an entry over towards outside, or rather a pick over towards outside. Now Arcade with nothing but lobby control. Have got it navigated 2-on-4.
Oof. It's a sharp one for Foggers. Find another like that. Oh, okay. We're right back into the swing of things. A site is open for the taking. Chell's going to go up to Heaven, but was forced back by the molly, which ended up actually fizzling. Still, Bombman's gone down, and with that, there's a chance here for Arcade. Tri Plus wants to figure out where he's going to end up on the site. ASAP trying to retake from Hut. Does not have a huge amount of HP, and it is going to be 2 players stacked behind the silo, which is an interesting choice from Arcade. But it seems to be working out. Tri Plus has found Chell. ASAP does not really have the HP to contest here, so this should just be the 2 rounds only for Rooster. He gets one but not the other, and that's 10 for Arcade in the first half of Nuke. Well, that was certainly a first half. 10-2 for Arcade. Not what we would have been expecting. I promise you this is not one of those situations where the HUD just has failed to update. It actually is 10-2 for Arcade. Let's see what Rooster can do on this T side though. Pistol round, if they can grab it, might give them a bit of a chance. And that's a shot from TJ. Looks for more on the entry there. It'll be down to 8. Now Versa actually holding strong. He's still alive somehow. Don't give him another. It's unreal. What is Versa getting away with behind the silo right now? He gets 4 kills. And if there was ever a nail in the coffin, that is probably the biggest nail I've ever seen. I think that might just be the map done and dusted.
Most likely. See Rooster getting some sharp entries into the side, and that is run into the brick wall that is Versa. Chelios trying to creep out inside of this CT smoke. That's a hell of a shot. And now actually with these 2 players on hot side, he can try to isolate the duels around the Tetris boxes. That's back inside of the smoke. Super crept out wide, but both of them holding the smoke. And as he creeps out once again, Super finishes it off for Arcade. Hell of a performance from Versa there. Massive round on the USP. And without the bomb plant there for Rooster, they are faced with a pretty rough reality that they probably have to force here unless they want to play for OT.
Yeah. Doesn't look like they're going to force. Man, you really would have thought it was coming together with that opening pick that TJ got into the A site, but Versa comes up with the goods. It's one of the better pistol rounds I've seen in a while.
Rooster not buying into this one. Got some upgraded pistols, but that's about it. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty cut and dry round for Arcade unless something goes a little bit awry. And with the Deagle going down. And another player spotted out towards the red box on outside here. Hold on. That's a nice shot from ASAP. Super dropped on outside. That's a rifle hitting the deck. Not going to be easy for Rooster to retrieve that, especially with most of these players sitting around in heart. Foggers a bit over aggressive. Loses his life in heart. And these are the weird 3-on-3s where the nuke rotations on CT side could provide opportunities for Rooster to find favorable duels here.
Mm-hmm. Void has kind of set himself up in that Harry Potter cupboard. And it's a good place to be, because that is exactly where Rooster are headed, and he's aware that there's another player rolling around the corner. It's a nice cleanup. I'm picking up what you're putting down, right? Like that 3v3, it could have gone a little bit wrong for Arcade, but in the end, quite a comfortable round, and so 12-2, and didn't quite get that 13-0 that I was talking about a little bit earlier on in the map, but well and truly on for an Arcade victory, a very comfortable one as well by the looks of it. You know, if not 13-2, then still, it's a very long way back into this for Rooster.
Very sparse usual here from Rooster. Got some outside wall of smokes. Most of them stacked up in towards lobby though. Chelios has found the entry out door. Could help simplify things here for a T side that doesn't really have a lot of util to work with towards the mid to late round. Anticipating the aggression into Squeaky and punished well by Slimy. It's a 2-man advantage for Rooster. And potentially makes the first step of many a little easier for them to navigate.
Flash and nade into the smoke, but ASAP does a good job of at least getting one before falling. About the investment there from Arcade for the result, just not quite what they needed. So Rooster get themselves the first gun round of the second half, but even though that's going to sort of prolong this a little bit, doesn't really get them out of hot water. Thinking it might just be the save from Arcade, but I guess they would have had to have taken a second save anyway, so they're going to force into it. Let's see what they can do with 3 grenades. Could get up to some shenanigans.
If it does, that'll be the end of the game. We're not even talking about an economy swing or anything like that. Arcade put themselves in such a solid position here to close out Nuke. It's crazy that they're winning this in such dominant fashion right now. Super, even with a Famis, makes that work on outside, but well predicted by ASAP, tracking his movement through the smoke, able to trade that. You see Rooster still looking to force the issue on outside. They recognize the range advantage that they have over this light bite.
It's doable, for sure. Chell. Up inside the hut. He's going to find the pick onto Versa, then double down as well. So, danger has been avoided for now, and this will more than likely be the 5th round as well secured for Rooster. But it does kind of feel like we're in a bit of a holding pattern. Sort of just like, alright, well, this map's more than likely done. Let's just get this one over with. Move on to map 2, but every round does have some significance for Rooster, just to maybe ease the pain a little bit from this map.
Yeah, they had a very, very slow start. I mean, realistically, it is Rooster. Like, a comeback is possible, especially against the CT team who can keep resetting. ASAP getting active on outside. Anti-eco slaughter. Definitely give him some confidence. Oh, can't quite clean up the ace. TJ's there to steal it. But nonetheless, it's a very clean round for Rooster. They won't have any economic woes on this comeback. They can buy absolutely anything that their hearts desire, including an AWP if they want it. Arcade, on the other hand, a little bit more limited into what they can bring into this round with only, you know, that 2.4 loss bonus not quite building up yet. Minimal utility, no AWP, no kits.
Well, this would be the one to do it in for Arcade. Make it nice and clean. Really seal the deal. But certainly seems like it's going to be easier said than done. Rooster are looking a lot more threatening on this T side than they were on CT. Which is maybe good news for them, but they just haven't really given themselves enough room to work. Could have gotten to that 3rd or maybe 4th round and be a bit of a different story, but try plus, unable to get too much done. Was in a nice position to avoid going up the vent, but it'll be sorted out as well. So this is what I mean, like, you know, if Rooster had a little bit of wiggle room, if they had a 1 or 2 round buffer here that they could afford to drop, I could actually make an argument for them coming back into this, the way things are looking on the T side right now, but because it's just 1 round you're done, I'm not really prepared to get sold that snake hole just yet.
Definitely, once you get into like this 2.9 loss bonus, and given the fact that there's, you know, not really that argument of, look, we can do economic damage to the T side that's relevant, I really think that these 3-man saves are super important from this point on from Arcade to be able to string the buys together, drop extra rifles over. I think every round that doesn't start well from there, you'd want to try to be securing those. Unfortunately, Void goes down, and only 2 players surviving means, I mean, you could try and drop 2 rifles over and force, but someone's down to an MP9. The util is going to be non-existent. So I really wouldn't be surprised to see like just 1 more half bite before you max out the loss bonus. And from this point on, yeah, 2 to 3 man saves will give you more and more chances to close out the game.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a chance in this one. We'll see. It's going to be super playing toward outer, towards Annex at the moment. So that's where one of the rifles has ended up, and Versa down on B site. Getting into secret, which may end up being quite an important part of the map. Both the rifles have been dedicated here, and I think Versa might have maybe heard ASAP jumping around. This could somewhat be an issue for Rooster in just a second. Depends on the timing of these rifles, and Versa getting that first one. Super's going to need to help out. It's really not too bad so far. A 1-for-1. Versa gets his head ducked down. The jump may have caused a bit of a ruckus, but Molotov in there will keep Rooster at bay, and the numbers advantage is there for Arcade at the moment, if maybe not the map control.
Foggers wanting to find some info. Regress towards secret side. You can see Rooster holding for that, and in the meanwhile allowing Chelios the freedom and the space to see if he can find anything toward upper. He's made his way into heaven. He's throwing some util pressure. The idea behind this is just to draw some rotations back into the upper side, and that's exactly what they've done. Foggers forfeits control of the vent, but still able to catch one on the cross. Keeps the numbers in the favor of Arcade. Oh dear.
Looks like it might be saved by Chell up in heaven. Sign that entry to Void. It's kind of on to Try Plus. His timing looks fantastic, and he's caught Slimy. Chell, freebie, low HP, and that's it. It's Arcade to win the map in some crazy circumstances. I mean, it was, yeah, again, leading in the direction of maybe even potentially a 13-0 at one point. Didn't quite get there, but that is still a very, very dominant win from Arcade. And it's got to be a bit of a tilter for Rooster, all things considered. Like, they just did not show up on that map. There was maybe like a few rounds in the second half where it started to look okay, but by then the game was pretty much already over.
Yeah. And looking at the grand scheme of things as well, like